Hey folks, we are here on our first weed for weed list number 1, the virtual plant walk, and it is Erodium cicutarium, or redstem filaree. Okay, redstem filaree is in the Geraniaceae family, and we're going to look at a few key identifiers here on this plant. So we'll start with the growth habit. This grows in a basal rosette, which refers to the pattern of the leaves emerging from the center there. Very similar to that of a dandelion. The leaf itself is a little unique. These are pinnitifid leaves. They're alternately arranged on the stem, as you can see there, and they have those deep lobes, which makes them pinnitifid. Okay, while we have this little sample here, let's look at the stem. You can see slight hairs, and there is a slight stickiness, more when they're younger. But that's the stem and the leaves. And then very key figure on these older stems is, well, they get red, hence the common name. So there's that redstem filaree. You can see there some flowers that are forming into the fruit, which we'll talk about in just a second. But redstem filaree pushes out these nice purple flowers, kind of in sparse groupings. And there's a flower that hasn't quite closed yet. It's about to close. Nice small purple flower. And then here are some immature fruit pods. And we'll look at a mature one in just a second. But those are the reproductive organs. And then here's a nice grouping of mature seed pods. They get termed like stork's bills or crane's bills. We have this long appendage here, and these will burst open when they are mature, which allows them to spread seed very effectively. So let's talk about control of redstem filaree. Here, the plant we looked at here, this rather large one, is kind of in a disturbed area. You can see a lot of other weeds, mallow in here, poa annua, annual bluegrass, and it loves disturbed areas, as many weeds do. This was kind of broken up. It used to be all sod in here. We now have like clover lawn trials and alternative lawn trials in here. So this got broken up, and weed seeds were able to germinate really easily. In an area like this, hand picking works in terms of cultural methods, or any broad spectrum spray herbicide like a glyphosate would work here. And spot sprayed all this glyphosate, that would be an effective control. Redstem filaree is an annual, so it will die, but as we just talked about, those seeds are able to disperse very easily. So you want to time your herbicide applications before it goes and sets fruit and seed. If we come over here, this is a new sodded Bermuda grass lawn that's kind of become overtaken with weeds. You can see where we painted it in the fall. But redstem filaree is in here too. And you'll notice it's quite a bit smaller than the one in disturbed soil. It's for a few reasons. We always know that a well-developed stand of turf is going to resist invasion by weeds a lot better. But this Bermuda grass is at a disadvantage. You can see that once again it was overtaken. And if we look really closely, we can start to see some graining up of this Bermuda grass here. But Bermuda grass takes a while. It's a warm season grass, and it's not going to like these cold winter temperatures. It's going to take a while to get green and vigorous and healthy. So in the meantime, all these weeds that are much more vigorous and adapted to the climate are going to overtake. And notice they're smaller. They're not as effective. And that's the hen bit right there. But in controlled stands, selecting the right turf for the right place is important. Bermuda grass is coming along, but there are some weed management issues. So once again, we would not use a broad spectrum spray. We want to keep our grass obviously. So we could use a selective broad leaf herbicide in this situation. Hand picking also works. If we would have kept up on this better, we wouldn't have had such major infestations back where it's warm. Let's head back here for a second. You can see against this concrete wall how warm it gets, and this Bermuda grass is active. It's growing very well, and as are these weeds. Look at that, that's a huge redstem filaree right there. So if I came and hand-picked this earlier in the season, we probably would have avoided this. But now I can come in here with, we should have come in here earlier with selective herbicide and sprayed all these out. But once this Bermuda grass gets a lot healthier, we'll be able to resist weed invasions. And that's always important to remember, that we want to prioritize healthy turf stands before we come in with any chemicals. But this has gotten to a point where we need to intervene with chemical methods or some pretty intensive handling. So that's redstem filaree, and see your first plant in your wheat list, and we will move on to the next one.